Things were a lot different a year ago. Homeschool co-ops were still a thing. We used to have a show called Married to Liberty, where Nikki would ask me questions. This is one of those episodes.
They can't think it's just puppy love, but they'll never know just how deep it runs. 10 miles wide, 15 deep, so deep in love I'd drown if you weren't holding me. And we don't need to prove that.
How's it going, folks? Welcome to the second installment of Married to Liberty, here with your hosts, Lizzie and Nikki P.
Oh, hoy, hoy.
We didn't mention last time, so I wrote that song for Liz.
Yeah, you did. That was like my first Christmas gift or something from you.
Probably.
Yeah.
Back when we were wealthier than we are now.
It didn't feel like it at the time, but technically, yes.
Probably. Anyway, so in our show, this bonus show, we ask questions of, well, I should say, I ask questions of Lizzie and try and suss out what it's like to be married to one of those crazy libertarians.
Sure.
So today we are going to ask the ever important question. Kids, mistake or not?
Mistake or not? That's how you're phrasing that question.
No,
Good
it's not
God,
how
man.
I'm phrasing it. I'm just saying it because it was funnier that way. Hey, anyways, the real question is, so as a libertarian, how has that changed your position on children?
Okay. Changed my position. Well, I was thinking about this a wee bit because you mentioned that this was going to be the question.
I guess let's focus on maybe the relationship that we have with children. I know that it's a big question that we'll probably touch on in the future too.
Yeah. Well, one big thing that I think it actually has been a plus for us is that I come from kind of a very conservative Christian, and I'm not really super conservative, but I do still have some beliefs that, stem from that. And then you are coming from where you're coming from, which is sort of atheist and sort of you've had some other stuff in your past and whatnot. But I think
Recovering Catholic, folks. Recovering
Yes,
Catholic.
yes. But I think the principles of like the non-aggression principle and upholding property rights do make it really simple for us to be on the same page as far as like, you know what, kid, this stuff's okay, this stuff's not okay. And, we are going to be a united front as far as that's concerned because, we can easily agree on those things. And that's something that I don't know that we would have had if it hadn't been for the libertarian.
You think we'd have hated each other and raised a terrible child if we didn't have the nap?
I don't think that would have happened, but we probably would have had to have had a lot more conversations about different things to sort of figure out where we both stand. I don't know. We didn't have to have those conversations. We're just like, yeah, the nap, that makes sense. Okay, we'll just, tell her not to hurt people or take their shit.
Okay, but I mean, I think there's more to this, and that, to me, I think it makes things harder.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a flip side to it. It does make things harder in some ways. It does make things harder in some ways. I was just saying that was one of the pluses. I'm sorry, I had to shift because the thigh is stuck to the stool here. But what ways would you say?
Well,
it makes it harder?
So part of the reason to choose to homeschool is on principle, and that sure as hell didn't make life any easier.
Well, no, I didn't say it made life easier. I made it. I said it made our philosophical stand like united easier. None of it's easy as far as life goes, because of course, the society that we are in is not anywhere near the society that we would want to raise our kid in, as far as liberty goes, and that is taxing, to say the least. Just knowing that stuff's going on, she's gonna have to deal with it.
Knowing that CPS is a thing.
Yeah, and they feel like they can, and frankly, as far as the law goes, they can just straight up take your kids over some dumbass bullshit.
You heard it here, folks. Dumb ass bullshit. So now, are there things that you specifically look at differently now, like before you kind of had your transition, than things that you just see differently?
Yeah, no, for
from before
sure.
and after.
Well, I mean, I could give you the example of watching kids shows with my kid. Like, I grew up watching Sesame Street, like pretty much everything on public television. Like, that was, a big part of, oh yeah, I learned this thing on this public television show today, and like, oh okay, well I'm gonna keep investigating it, and that was like a homeschool resource for us when we were kids. But now, I can see all the wires in the background pulling, kids toward the state. Oh well, they're talking about police officers and how they're everybody's friend and how you need to, have a really good relationship with them. And oh yeah, they get to go to the mayor's house in their in this show, and it's so exciting to get to meet a city official.
That
blah,
actually
blah, blah.
that reminds me of like a specific event. So you've had getting involved in like the homeschool community around here, which for anyone who doesn't know, homeschool communities are kind of a mixed bag.
Oh yeah, for
so
sure.
to speak. But you've actually had a couple different instances where people were trying to organize events that were just
Oh yeah, the police tour. They decided they were going to do a police station tour, which again, I'm pretty sure I went to one of those as a kid, and literally got myself fingerprinted and put in the system because, oh, this is a fun thing that kids can do. Look, get your fingerprints done. Isn't that cool, kids? Like, my parents didn't think anything of it. And
your parents are cops, Liz.
well, they were military, but
Military cop, same thing.
but when the opportunity came for, me to have that wonderful quote unquote experience for my kid, I was like, wait, what? Why would I intentionally tell her that she should just be like walking herself into the police station and volunteering information? That doesn't seem like a great idea. Why would I want to put her fingerprints in the system?
It does not seem like the place for little brown people.
Why would we do that? No, I can't be okay with that. And then we had the trip to the Federal Reserve Bank. Yeah, that was another opportunity that came up that I kind of and that one was a little bit less of a thing. I just knew there were going to be a lot of conversations that I was going to have with other parents and other kids that I thought would have created more tension in the group than really needed to be there. If they want,
what kind of questions?
Well, like, oh well, isn't this cool how they manage the money system and interest rates and stimulate the economy and all that stuff. And yeah, and I would be the one person standing in the back of the tour group going, oh,
there we go, printing money,
hyperinflation,
devaluing the currency,
stealing our funds. Venezuela.
You'd have just been waiting for the boogaloo.
Yeah, it would have been bad. So yeah, in that way, those are situations that I do look at completely differently, because of liberty being in our lives. And I mean, there are plenty of other opportunities. There are plenty of things that we are exploring. But yeah, those are the things that I guess I never thought about before because I wasn't political. That now they are things that I'll like stop and, okay, kid, you understand that this is what they're really telling you in this show,
Well, since we talked about it, how about like with public funding? We've talked about your relationship with things like PBS and all that.
Yeah.
How about libraries? What is your position on libraries, considering
Well, again, and this is come up more and more because obviously I have friends in the homeschool community, and again, this was a thing that was a great resource for us. We were homeschooled kids with a single parent, and being able to use free resources from the library was a huge boon to us. But also, now I recognize the flip side of that, which is they are dictating which materials you're able to use to learn. So things like, Mises and Bastiat and those thinkers aren't going to be as readily available. I mean, even just anything with the actual phrase unschooling is very hard to find in the public library system.
Wow, that was not exactly where I expected you to go with that, but okay, it was interesting.
Well, no, it was surprising to me.
I was thinking about how you justify using a library that's, robbing people.
Oh, I see. Yeah, and that is the other flip side of it. Not only are you limited in what you can explore if you're only using resources from there, but yeah, the material that they are pushing, it could include some stuff that people you might not want pushed. A friend of mine invited us to a particular program at a library that it wasn't directly sexual, but it could be interpreted as sexualizing children in a way. And
Are you talking about the trans thing?
Well, it was a drag show at a library.
Was it a drag show, or was it just like the drag people reading to the kids?
Well, it was drag people reading.
Do you know
to
how
kids.
many feathers that particular thing has ruffled?
Well, it is it's an interesting.
If you haven't been watching it, there's like a huge hubbub on the internet about that.
Is it really?
Yeah. Because it's form of fucking indoctrination, frankly.
Yeah, I have no problem with drag shows. I frankly love them as an adult. If I go to a bar and that's an experience that I'm signing up for, but bringing that into
you mean
a setting with children that's completely different.
Adding a sexualizing element to kids programming seems a little...
It just seems like it's blurring a lot of lines, and I can totally understand people being uncomfortable with it. I don't understand why that's a good idea, I guess. And again...
Well, I mean, obviously, it's a good idea because we're trying to make kids question this.
Right. And
there's an agenda
that
is being forced.
I don't really feel like, at 5 you need to be deciding
what was I watching the other day? It was hilarious.
You need to be a drag queen when you get up or when you grow up or not. Like, I feel like that's something you could totally explore as an older person.
So to the side, Liz, was watching an episode of Garfunkel and Oates the other day.
Okay.
And they made a joke, and it was what's her name? The gay woman who almost died.
Oh, Tig?
Yeah, it's Tig Notaro playing a character. Yeah. Well, she's playing a character on the show, and she's like the working as an executive for essentially their version of the Sesame Street.
Okay.
And they're doing the whole Bert and Ernie wedding.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And the girls are supposed to write a song for it.
Yeah.
And like she makes a joke in it. When they're asking the question about, it's like, it's all part of the agenda.
Yeah.
Reference like, no. I mean, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Like the way that the character brought it apart was like the idea of the whole gay agenda.
Yeah.
Trying to force it on kids, and like she didn't even care about it. It was just something that they were doing to push the narrative.
Yeah.
It was an interesting it was an interesting joke in the way that they did it.
Yeah.
So I guess we're coming to the close here. Any last minute things you want to get out there about being a libertarian mommy?
I don't know. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground.
A lot of ground in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Isn't that how that works?
Yeah. If you've got questions, you've got comments, like hit us up. If there's something that you'd like to hear us talk about, please throw us a line, because we could go in any direction with this. I'm enjoying the exploration.
It's been something.
Yeah.
So thanks for hanging out, folks, and see you next week on Married to Liberty.